One would think that a profession responsible for all other professions are paid a livable wage, but in reality, in Jamaica, that's not true. Thank you so very much for tuning into today's video. If you're new here, welcome, and do remember to subscribe, like this video, give it a thumbs up, share with someone. And for all my returning residents, I don't know why that's the first thing that comes to mind all the time. Thank you so very much for your support and your love. Remember to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and share. Leave a comment, let me know your thoughts on what it is that we're going to discuss today. So let's get into today's video. It is sad. It is a sad reality living in Jamaica. Cost of living is so high. Yes, cost of living is high everywhere, right? But I live in Jamaica. I can only speak from here. For here. Or about here. Cost of living is so high. Like, it is crazy. And then you're not paid a livable wage. We're talking about the civil servants, right? Teachers, lawyers, nurses, doctors, soldiers, civil servants, right? Government workers. And more you think about it, the more you look into the issue, the more you look into the situation, the more upset you become. I've been wanting to make this video for a very long time, but I was so angry. I was so upset about it. I'm like, okay, you need to calm down first and look at all the facts, all the information before you go ahead and say what you have to say. So I've been going to school forever, so and I always wonder why teachers don't own houses, why teachers don't own a car, or most teachers I should say. Why is it that if they own one, they can't own the other, or they don't own any at all? They have children, they have rent to pay, mortgage to pay, car loan, student loan, maybe they have insurance, all of these are expenses. All right, bills meaning light, water, electricity, same thing as light, internet, cable, the whole works, the whole 9 yards of it all. And it is so sad to see. I always wonder why. And then I got older and I realized teachers cannot afford the simple or the basic things comfortably. And it is so sad. It is gut-wrenching. It is so sad. And not just teachers, What we're talking about, this is, well, I'm speaking as it relates to teachers because of the whole salary increase for teachers, for the politicians, and for the judges, right? It is just sad. It is just ridiculously sad. Imagine one profession is responsible for all other professions and they are paid so poorly. Everyone goes to school to become a I say because gospel to become a politician. But you go to school to become a doctor, a nurse, a lawyer. Every profession you go to school for, even if it's not formal, but we're talking about in the formal sense. Not everything you learn in a classroom sitting in front of a teacher, but someone taught you, right? You were taught all these things and you become competent and you were able to pass on that knowledge, teach someone else, right? But sitting in a classroom setting and learning all these things. You went to university for 4 years. I went to UTech for 4 years, right? And yeah, I had to do, even though at this point in time I think some of the things are unnecessary. But the whole essence of this is that the government is saying that teachers got a raise, everyone got a raise. And I'll insert a clip here, a video here of the Minister of Finance talking about it.
Widespread outrage after Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark announced increased salaries for parliamentarians yesterday. He's in studio with me. We'll be talking to him about that. But before that, Andrea Chisholm has his overview to remind you of the numbers.
The biggest salary increase will go to Prime Minister Andrew Holness. In 2021, his salary was roughly $9.2 million per year, plus a telephone allowance. As of April 2022, it jumps to over $22.3 million. For April 2023, it moves to roughly $25.3 million. And by April 2024, another increase to almost $28.6 million. For the Deputy Prime Minister, the salary was over $8 million for the year, and now it moves to over $20 million in year 1, over $22.7 million in year 2, and over $25.7 in year 3. For Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark, his salary was over $7.4 million for the year, plus the telephone allowance and housing of roughly $285,000. The new salary, over $19 million in year 1, over $21.7 million in year 2, and roughly $24.6 million in year 3. Now to Opposition Leader Mark Golding. He also got the housing and telephone allowances, and the April 2021 salary was over $8 million for the year. As of April 2022, he will get over $20 million. In April 2023, over $22.7 million, and by April 2024, over $25.7 million. A cabinet minister's salary was roughly $6.9 million for the year. In year 1, it is close to $17.9 million, then over $20.2 million, then close to $23 million. Now to the Speaker of the House. The salary was close to $6.9 million. In April 2022, it will move to close to $17.9 million for the year, then to over $20.2 million, then close to $23 million. For a Minister of State, the old salary was over $6 million for the year. It now moves to over $14.2 million, then over $16.1 and close to $18.3 million. A regular parliamentarian would make over $4.3 million for the year in salary. It will now move to over $11 million in year 1, then over $12.5 million and over $14.2 million.
It's a restructuring, it's not an increase. In a salary increase, everybody gets the same thing. It's a restructuring, it's recomposing compensation in a way that allows us to attract and retain. And for the leadership across the public service, we had adjustments to compensation that were significant.
It sounds to me as if you hadn't picked up or you don't understand that there is significant, no, I'm referring to that, that there is in fact significant anger within those sectors as well, because of what is seen as a huge disparity in what the people at the top have got compared to the people lower down.
Absolutely, and I can address that. I can address that, but allow me to present.
Point doesn't appease anybody who is upset at the parliamentarian side.
Unless you don't understand the point I'm making. The point I'm making is that the adjustments in salaries for parliamentarians and ministers occurs in the context of adjustments to salaries for the leadership levels across the public sector. And then we can, so now allow me to...
The point I was making though is that the concern is that those adjustments as a whole were inequitable in relation to what is now down the gap between the leadership and the rest of the...
We can, once I present it...
And then the whole uproar came when this was posted of the judges. Salary for the judges were posted. So I posted here. So that you should be seeing it on your screen now. So this is the salary of the judges. Like, look at that. Imagine one person making all this money for a year. And then the government's response was that them not basically they want to them want them do their job properly, they want them do their job good, right? They pay them money so them do their job. So what teachers, lawyers, doctors, they don't need to be paid well to do their job well. I don't see the correlation. I don't see how it ties in. I don't see how it makes sense. It just doesn't make sense. And then the huge uproar and what caused frenzy and everything is when the government, the politicians, received their increase. Look at it. Look at the increase. Oh my god, this is like, look at the increase. Like, you should be seeing on your screen all the increase for the Prime Minister and the other politician there. Although the Prime Minister stated that he will not be taking the increase. We're not saying that no one deserves an increase. We're saying that be fair, right? Be fair in the increase. Yes, be fair. But they're saying that teachers got an increase, 100% already, which is true. Everyone got about 100% increase in their salary. They did. However, the issue lies now in that a little bit of money, as in what they were making before, and when they get the 100% increase, is like nothing, because everything now comes out in income tax, right? I have this, right? This is what I got from Ministry of Finance website about the salary for education. So, well, I have different levels. Well, I'm going to focus on the not the tertiary but secondary, right? So a prime minister, so a principal, say they're currently making, or their existing salary it started from $2,952,054. No, $2,954,054. That was the salary that they had. That's where it started, and then that's the minimum, and then the maximum was $3,422,240. That's the maximum that they made. That was the existing salary before the increase, right? Now, when the increase took place, so we're now in 2023, so the increase now in 2022 for the teacher, well, for that principal at that level, is 7.9 million. So you see, so that person was making before 2 million or 2.9 million. They are now in 2022, they are making 7.9, and then the increase again for 2023 is 8.5, right? And then in 2024 they will make 9.1. That's the minimum that person can make. So if you see there, imagine you have 2 million, right? 2 million, you made 2 million, $2.9 million. Not talking about your allowances for the teachers, but $2.9 million for that principal. And then in 2023, currently your salary should be 8.5 million for the year. We're talking about the year now. So you see the increase. So this principal actually got a huge increase. So when the minister did say that everyone got about 100% increase or so, he was right. He wasn't lying in that part. But the issue that we have is that a prime minister or a politician was making a well enough salary, but now they're making $20 million a year, and then they're going to say that you pay for what you get. So the politician that you pay for is the politician that you get. So the teacher that you pay for, the teacher that you get, the security force that you pay for, the security force that you get, the doctors and the nurses and the lawyers, what you pay for is what you get. So for them to take Jamaicans are idiots and Jamaicans are fool, no, not anymore. Maybe used to, but not anymore. So that's the minimum salary. So the maximum salary for that principal so the maximum salary was the minimum salary was 3.4. Now the maximum salary for that same principal goes up to $10 million. 10 million, 10.1 in 2022, 10.9 in 2023, and 11.7 in 2024. So yes, they did receive an increase. But we're not saying, we're just saying, why is the politician them getting so much money? Alright, so that's all the principal at what, level 4 principal, right? For that secondary school or secondary school, level 4 secondary school. So it ranges through, so the minimum, so a level 1 principal earned, the minimum they earn or earned existing, that was before the increase, was 2.2 million, right? And the maximum they could earn was 2.5. And then that principal at the level 1 school, the minimum was 6.8, and then the maximum in 2024 they'll make 7.7. Then there's no levels to the vice principal for secondary school. They just have one salary for vice principals. The salary was $2,094,136, right? That's the minimum they could make, or they were making, and the maximum was 2.4 mil. And then the increase, right, for that vice principal, 4.2, 4.5 and 4.8. So that's about 100% increase. So you see, so now I know how income tax works. You pay income tax on 1.5 million something up, right? And then so now this person was paying income tax on a little bit, but now I'm gonna pay income tax on whole heap. So they are not making much, right? And then you have primary school principal. We're not going to look at any more principal or vice principal, them higher up people. Let's look at the a trade graduate, right? Now look at the master teacher either, because a trade graduate. You go school, you spend 4 years at teachers college, 4 years at UTech, 4 years at UA, or wherever you choose to go. This is your salary, the minimum salary, and this does not include allowances, right? So they were making before the increase $1.3 million. That was the minimum, and the maximum was 1.6, right? So a teacher who made 1.3, 1.3, 1.4, 1.4, 1.4, and so 1.6, right? 1.5, right? They were not paying a huge income tax. But now that salary increased to 2.5, 2.8, and 3 million flat for a graduate teacher in 2024. That's what they would make, $3 million. That's max for that person in that salary bracket. So imagine they would have to pay tax on 25% tax on the other 1.5% in next year. So you get and them take it back. right? So what I think they need to do, they need to increase the income tax threshold to 2 million or to 2.5. But are they going to do that? I don't think so. They may say they're going to do it, or they may wait until it's close to election time, so that them think that people are going to vote for them, because that's the only way they may get votes, right? So yes, he was correct in saying that everyone got about 100% increase. But when you look at the cost of living and what they were making before and the increase that they got, you really realize that they weren't getting any money. So I'm going to do a breakdown, right? This is what they take home. I'm in a business about your loan, because you decide to go ahead and take a loan. You are a business about insurance, not about health insurance, like life insurance and those stuff. You go ahead and decide to do those. So this is your salary, and this is what you decide to do with it, your business. And you realize that is not much. It is really not a lot, and it is sad that teachers cannot afford to live a proper life, like living their best, living paycheck to paycheck. Cost of living is high, rent is not cheap, electricity is not cheap, and then every year JPS is asking the government for an increase. NWC, that's my next one, actually an increase too. And internet cable, it's just hard on a simple man. And then there was this other salary that I saw that I wanted to look at. The last salary on the list, pre-trained teacher, right? So this person made a minimum, right, of $699,806 per year. Tell me no. Anyways, and the maximum they made was $814,594. So there's no income tax coming out of their salary, but at the same time, divide that by 12, and what do you get? Like, come on now. This $699,000 is some of them salary for the month, and then that increased to what they would make now. It's 1.3. They won't be paying any income tax, but then they'll pay more for NHT, pay more for education tax, and they'll pay more for NIS. But at the same time, like, it's crazy for the politician to try and justify their huge 300% increases by saying everyone got an increase. And we're not saying the politicians don't deserve an increase. I thought, but then again, I thought being a politician wasn't a job. It wasn't a career. Wasn't it you giving up yourself to your country? I'm not sure. I don't even know. If you follow politician, you go down in a one ditch. I don't know. It's sad. That's why you need additional stream of income. But then again, when you apply for a job, they say you can't work for any other entity, right? You can't work for anyone else. You need a side hustle, start a business, right? Do something else, buy stocks and bonds. Look into other things, because if you should work one job, you will just live to pay bills, and who has time for that? Who is living like that anymore? This is 2023. We ain't doing that. I'm not as upset as I was before about the whole situation, but it still irks my spirit, it still irks my soul. But and then people went to protest, but not a lot of people went out And then, you know, the 9-way wonder thing, you talk about it for 9 days and then blah blah blah, everybody mouth shut, and the politician then just go about their business and take them raises. And what do you do with $20 million per year? They say you pay for what you get. So if you think you're being paid well as a teacher, be a good teacher. And if you think that you're not, then be that teacher. They say you pay for what you get. So the politician that we pay for, the politician that we get. So what kind of teacher are you? What type of doctor are you? Nurse, you know? And when you go to the hospital, so that's why then some of the nurses always treat the people in bad because they not get good pay. They're stressed, overworked, and underpaid. Living in Jamaica is not what it's cracked up to be. I love my country, sure, most days, but this salary thing is just crazy. And then they didn't implement it properly, so the system, so see, people haven't gotten paid, people haven't gotten their retro, people this, people that. There's something with the system that they're still working on. Sure, fine, no problem, but don't take people for idiots. Let me know, you know, in the comments what you think of the new salaries, or the salary increase for the judges, the salary increase for the government, and what the civil servants got. And I think they probably should say a percentage increase for everyone across the board. Like, that's a percentage. If you're going to give everybody, say 15% increase, that's fine. But then when you're going to negotiate with the civil servants and say they cannot get an increase, they cannot get a raise, they cannot get a retro because they don't have any money, then you go and give yourself millions. Make it make sense, please. Make it make sense. And then the thing that just irks my soul is that have you ever heard of anybody putting aside a budget, like said this is your salary, and don't have a job description? Like, come on. The politicians gave themselves these huge increases, but there's no job description for them. It doesn't say what they're supposed to do. It doesn't outline anything because nothing exists. But then people argue that when you give a job description, you're saying this is a job, right? Well, if you're getting a salary, it is a job. If they were always getting a salary, they've just increased the amount. So how can you give someone so much money and don't have anything outlined to say you're supposed to go to this 9 night, you're supposed to go to that 9 night, you're supposed to fix road, and then again, like, okay, you're going to do performance appraisal to decide if someone deserves an increase. If teachers deserve an increase, okay, teachers, like CXC teachers, this amount of student failed, this amount of student passed, okay, something wrong with you, your performance isn't what it's cracked up to be, okay, you're not getting an increase. But then a politician, how do you measure the performance? What are the key performance indicators for a politician? What are the KPIs? How do you measure those? But there's no job description, there's nothing to go by, there's nothing in writing, and they're going to do that after the fact. After them give themselves them high increase there, they're going to do that. And according to them, they want to attract talent, good talent, competent talent, so they go ahead and do these huge increases so that the competent people, trained professional people that were trained by teachers want to come into politics. But I don't know, most of who are in politics now have a degree, have a master's, have a doctorate, are doctors, are lawyers. So make it make sense. I'm sorry, I'm getting upset again. Okay, I'm going. Okay, I'm going. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think of all this, because this is madness in itself. It's like we're living a twilight zone right now, and I don't know. Thanks for watching. Thank you for liking, thank you for commenting, sharing, and I'll see you next week for another video. Do stay tuned, and remember, do good, and good will always follow you. Take care. Bye bye.